Hi, Orange Girl here with another scrapbooking process video for you today. I am working with flair from a flair for buttons, and I think I end up with about 3 pieces of flair on this layout of my daughter. Have you ever had one of those photos where you're just waiting for the perfect products in order to scrap it? I have one, and this is that photo for me right now. I've had this for nearly a year. It was March last year when we were on vacation in Gulf Shores, Alabama, and we went and visited a fort, like like it's called Fort Morgan is what it's called, and it's like historical fort. And there was this really bright like house or whatever, and I said, sit in front of that, let me take your picture, because it was pretty, and she had on, it was a pretty color, and then she had on all these bright colors. Her jacket is that bright green, and then her shirt that she had on, or the sweatshirt that she had on, was that bright red, and I knew it would look good. So I went ahead and took that photo, and it turned out so pretty. She looked so pretty in it, and she looked so grown up, which I didn't really like all that much, but um, I just really liked it. And so I've just kind of been waiting for the perfect products to arrive at my doorstep, and I found them. The first thing was that heart flare right there that is just to the left of the photo. As soon as it came, I was like, I have the perfect picture for that because it has the red and the green, and it's just fun looking. It matches the photo both in colors but also in style and mood. And so I thought, wow, I'm going to totally use that. And then the other thing that came in the mail recently to me was this collection by Heidi Swapp called Color Fresh. I recently purchased this pretty much as soon as it was available. I purchased it because I thought it was just gorgeous. I love lots of color, and I love pops of black and white, or I like lots of black and white with pops of color. And this whole collection is full of that kind of stuff. And so as soon as those two things came in the mail, I was like, I think it's time. It's time to scrap this photo of B. So that's what I'm doing today. What I've been working on here is I've been using the 6x6 paper pad to find some things to layer behind the photo. So I found some pink, a really dark pink. This right here is a strip, like the branding strip from a different piece of paper. And when I added that, I was like, wait a minute, what would happen if I turn this whole thing so that the arrow is going down? And I like that way better, and I end up using that going forward here from now on. But anyway, that branding strip just added another pop of color over on the other side, or now the bottom of the layout, and I liked that. And I think I add a few more layers. I end up using that. I wanted another black and white to go behind the photo. I'm not really a fan of animal print, and that was the only black and white paper really that was in there besides some other stripes, and I thought we were good with stripes on this layout. And so I ended up using the animal print, but it's a vellum piece that is in the ephemera, and that, because it's vellum and it's a little bit transparent or translucent, I thought that looked just a little bit better than the pattern paper, so I ended up using that. For this layout, I moved the stuff around a lot, and I auditioned a lot of flair. You can see at one point I have a lot of the black flair on there. I really wanted to use the butterfly flair, which does end up making the final layout. This heart flair and then the stripe flair and some of the others, I think, come with like that love flair. They all came in the same flair set, and so they all go together quite nicely, but I don't end up using um, any other from that flair set except for that heart one. But I do add a couple others you'll see here in a second. I wanted another pop of color, but I wanted some white mixed in, and so this paper I thought was great. And actually, since we were on vacation, the travel kind of theme kind of fits it, like the idea that it's a map or whatever. So I'm going to use these pieces of pattern paper from the 6x6 pad behind. They're my tiny attacher ran out of attachers, ran out of staples, so I had to go fill that. Anyway, so I staple those together. It adds a little texture, like it makes them easier to move around a little bit if I want to move them some, and I can put things behind in layers, is why I usually staple. It also saves a little adhesive because I'm not having to use adhesive on each of those layers either, so that's why I do that. I've had people ask me that before, so that's why I do that. So I'm going to start gluing some stuff down because the things that I really like this branding strip at the bottom. And I really like those right there. Those are photo corners, and I just added them into the white spots along there. Yeah, I really like that. And then I like how everything kind of points to her face. So I put the photo in that location, and I think I move it over just a skosh so that all of those arrows kind of point into her face. So I'm going to use a tiny attacher to attach some of these vellum pieces. I do end up making a mistake, and I try to fix that. Hopefully I'll catch it and I'll show you it in just a second. But so right now my title is this, but I'm going to add to it. It's going to say love this. These come in the collection as well. These are the words that come in the collection. They're pretty gold, and I add those, and then to add a few more pops of gold, I added some of the hearts. I pulled all of the hearts out of the ephemera pack, lots of vellum pieces in there, and so I tried to kind of keep them on the white so that you could see them. Many of them have a transparent quality. Some of them are more like acetate, and they have a protective covering on them, and then some of them are more like vellum. So anyway, so I end up stapling those down, the ones that are towards the edge, and then I'm going to make my mistake here in just a second. I think, I'm not sure, maybe I'm going to think about making the mistake for a little while first. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of tissue paper behind my photo. That helps the photo pop out, I feel like, a little bit more. De-emphasizes the layers, but you can still see the layers very easily. Emphasizes the photo a little bit more. That's just my opinion, but I really like the look of it. Then that little spot there right by her head is the perfect spot to put that little button, that flare button. It's just a little empty white space, blue space actually, but it looks really cute with that little piece of flare there, and then some tangled thread behind it, of course. And I'm ready to glue. I feel like that's kind of my final layers there, so I go ahead and glue that down. Now I play a lot with the flare because I cannot end up deciding what you see there for flare is what ends up, I'm not sure if I change them out again, but this is what it ends up being. And I'll show you the moment that I feel like I realized that I was going to go ahead and use those flare, I think. Here's where I make my mistake. So once I figure out how to open my tiny attacher, I go ahead and just try to staple it. And it doesn't work, of course, because it's hard behind it and it just doesn't work. So then I take the staple out and I restaple it and put some glue behind it, thinking, oh, at least it'll look stapled now. But then the glue doesn't adhere very well. So there I am trying to line that up with her face. And then I get adhesive all over my photo. Isn't that awesome? So liquid glue, but it came up. You can't even tell now. So one of the things that was bothering me about the flares, I feel like they're just out there and they're not part of the layout. The top one says soar and the bottom one is a butterfly, and I really wanted the butterfly on here because this has been kind of the year of butterflies. I think most of my layouts with B on them from now on are probably going to have some sort of butterfly on it. This is the moment though when I put that heart up there and stapled it, and then I put a gold heart. I was like, okay, that works. I just needed something beside that flare up there to make it work. I still haven't made the bottom work yet, but now I'm a little bit more confident that I will make it work. So now I sped this up quite a bit because honestly, I'm just moving stuff around a lot. Gluing stuff down. The basic design is all there. I'm going to add to my title here so that it will say love this. These are alpha stickers and letter stickers that are part of Heidi's collection that I think these are actually meant more for planners, but I bought them anyway because who doesn't need a big pack of alphas? And they're all fun, bright colors. So one of the things that I did right here is I moved one of those gold hearts up to be the dot on this. That meant instead of having that gold down beside the word this, I could put my flair there. And adding my flair like it was almost like a period after this sort of helped me make it feel like it was part of the layout rather than just laying there. And then I think I add a gold heart underneath that yet, so, or beside it. So, and then that kind of finalizes it for me. Off camera, one of the things that I did that I think must not have had the camera running for was I stamped Shine Bright on a label and put that kind of above her as a layer. And then just there I stamped the date, and now I'm going to add a few more gold hearts. I might take some of them off or move them around because I don't feel like they end up there. But yeah, I think I just leave that big one off eventually. I decided it was too big and just stick with the little ones. Yeah. And then I'm pretty much done. So here come the close-ups. Thanks a lot for stopping by, and I will see you in my next video. This was a fun one to make. It's so bright and beautiful. Look at that flare. I loved working with this flare, and I loved working with this collection. See ya!